One of the most frequently mentioned issues that any 12-episode anime series could have is that the pacing of the plot and character development seems rushed or forced. Well, with the series only lasting 12 episodes, there's little time for both a fully developed plot and fully realized characters to be meshed together in a world that, must also get developed. Backstories, motivations, natures, and tendencies often get spelled out for the audience, which either puts a focus on the plot of the show specifically or just the characters. This forces a lack of balance between the two that can be seen in series that have more time to flesh all of this out. Very few 12-episode titles actually manage to bring the same level of depth that a longer series can due to this time restriction. But I believe that Studio Trigger's 2016 series, Kiznaiver, did so perfectly. While the topic of this video isn't necessarily an analysis of everything that the series does right, it's important to understand that what I will be analyzing is just a fraction of what makes Kiznaiver so special to me, to others, and is able to add a heaping ton of personality, flavor, and overall passion to the show. This is the power of subtlety. What I want to analyze here is one certain clip from episode 12. Here it is.
All seem very close, and that's just like in real life.
Yeah, 3 seconds. 3 measly seconds of an episode that's 24 minutes long, of a show that has 12 episodes. This scene accounts for 0.0001% of Kiznaiver, and I'll be analyzing it. Well, I'll be analyzing the important part, and that lies in the only thing that happens, the movement of the character's eyes. See, each move around the time that they realize you all seem very close is said, and this allows us as an audience to see the inner workings of each character's mind and who they feel or want to feel closest to. Tenga is blatantly obvious. Directly looking at Chidori, he loves her outright, not afraid to admit it to the entire group just a few episodes earlier, and he's most certainly not afraid to still do so. He wants to deepen their connection and as such will maintain the look in her direction, obviously thinking about her when connections come to mind. Nico takes a second to think before looking straight out into a group of friends. One of Nico's main desires for the group as a whole was to just remain friends even outside the Kiznaiver system, something that almost seemed impossible not too long ago. And while we know that she'll continue to chase Tenga's affection, her first priority was always making sure that she still had her friends when everything was said and done, and everything is said and done. Maki, my personal favorite in this scene, is the first to show any emotion at all, lifting her head up slightly, detailing that how even though she's reluctant to show her feelings, she's in touch with them, maybe more so than the rest of the group. After holding that position, she's the last to move her head in any form of direction, doing so slightly to the left, which confirms with a cross-section of Yuta's. She's the quiet type, known to repress the expression of her feelings, and as such, she represses the movement of her head in this scene. Yet being the first person of the group to even react shows us that she's aware of her connection with the group, and more so, she's aware of the connection she has with Yuta and her desires to further said relationship. Yuta reacts without thinking. With a quick turn of his head, he directs his vision towards the person he wants to be closest to, Maki. This can be compared to how open he was with his feelings while on the beach, running directly towards her, and also serve as a foiling against her self-preservation in regards to her emotions, displaying the ever-present theme of how opposites can attract in the show. Chidori had the most movement of the group, switching from a glance to her left and then staying down towards her right. This look to her left, though, is intentionally weird. Here, Chidori could be showing multiple things: her aloofness, being slow to lock down to a certain person with her affection, or her willingness to include Hisomu in her gaze, a sign that she truly does care for the entire squad. Or maybe she gazes off towards Kachan, still hoping that her chances exist, or dealing with some sense of affection that she still has for him. I believe that based on the episode, that Chidori, despite not wanting to, or at least not fully accepting of it yet, has given up on chasing Kachan, taking in his feelings for Nori. She's not entirely sure what she's doing is right, but she's sticking to her gut, turning to Tenga as she reaches out for her bag strap with her separate hand, which partially covers the love that's spelled out on her shirt. Obvious that she is not fully opening herself up just this yet. Hisomu, often regarded as the odd man out, is looking directly into the cross-section of all the characters. He is the middle ground, where the other characters make up the pattern of being shorter, taller, and shorter. Hisomu doesn't have anyone he loved in particular because he loved the entire group. This is reflected by this midsection gaze. This group of people were the ones that convinced him to start loving himself. This group that he covers his gaze with were the people that took him out of his shell and still want to be friends with him despite the many shortcomings they've run into with him. But he's finally found the people who care and who he himself cares for. And that's the scene. Again, this was just 3 measly seconds of the show, just a small sliver of the total pie chart that is Kiznaiver, but yet it can tell so much, even without the main character being involved. With each and every scene of the show being this important, the subtleties can start to add up when it comes to developing and enriching the audience with a powerful, dynamic, and beautiful story that rivals the sublime animation that visually accompanies it. And this is something Studio Trigger is well known for. The audience can understand their characters, their plot, and even start relating themselves to the minor details that take up such an incredibly small percentage of this total show. And that is why Kiznaiver is so special to me, and that is why I believe the show saw so much success. If 3 seconds can tell all of this, imagine how much you could get out of the entire show by paying attention to every single small little detail, by paying attention to the power of subtlety. Thank you so much for watching. This video is a bit of a weird one for my channel, but after coming across an analysis I made for this exact scene when it first came out, I thought I could finally touch back on it since I could finally understand it all, and this is the final product. I hope I did it proud. If you enjoyed or have any feedback for me, feel free to let me know. I hope to make more of these short analysis videos in the future, but I can't be too sure. See ya.